was, you know what? You guys maybe go off script with this love here. I already got 13 likes just starting the video. I guess that is because the Carolina Panthers today won in Las Vegas, Nevada at Legette Stadium. 36 Carolina Panthers, 22 Las Vegas Raiders. Head coach Dave Canales has now got his first regular season victory. And the risk that was taken this week, you could debate whether it came from David Tepper, whether it mostly came from Dave Canales. I think everybody right now would say, I don't care where it came from. And I think a lot of people say, well, this is not directed at Bryce the person. All right, let's get that out of the way. It was undoubtedly the best move that this team could have made to make the change, have Andy Dalton at quarterback. And we're going to share in this excitement. I'm going to do something that I'll normally do in the post-game shows. Normally I go through a bunch of stats and things like that and say there's no live call-ins, but we are going to do some live call-ins tonight, as I want to hear the excitement that you guys have, the excitement that I have. And, you know, went to the press box after the pregame show, and I was thinking, man, did I give them too much excitement? Did I let it out too much? Did I seem like a fan about, man, this could be a big thing? No, I was right, as it was a huge thing. I'm going to go through a lot of things, but let me give a few shout-outs to all of our members that are out there. And if you could hear it right now, Allegiant Stadium obviously turns into Club Allegiant Stadium as soon as the game ends. So I got as far away from the club as I could, but it's still here, and interesting to see. We got people calling in already. Give me another second, Thomas, before you call in. I will let you guys call in for sure. I'm going to pin it in the comments. I'm just going to run through some things, and then we'll get into it, all right? But thank you for calling in, Thomas. And let me give a shout-out to some of these members that are already in here. T. Green, Shaked. Who else have we got in here? Your boy Kels, Knucklehead K. Hey, Knucklehead K, I saw a funny clip about truck drivers the other day that I thought would be funny. But, yeah, this is going to be an interactive show for sure. And we're going to go ahead and dive into it. Again, Carolina Panthers final score 36-22. And you've heard me talk about it. We have the absolute best photographer in the NFL. He happens to be covering the Carolina Panthers for us. Unfortunately, for the past year, it's been like, man, good story to tell, but it's bad because of Carolina Panthers. We're losing. Today, I'm very happy to support. Since we're winning, we're going to have some pictures today that give you a great feeling, and we'll bring you into Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas about this victory. So without further ado, let's go ahead and step into some pictures. So as you can see, Shaked, I know you ask me often about the fans traveling to the game, and we did get a good amount of fans that traveled to the game today. There is a picture of the fans celebrating right there, and we'll continue to move on through these. So here we go. We got my good guy Andy Dalton, all smiles, and we're going to show some stats from his performance today. Andy Dalton had a phenomenal game. You know, that smile that he had earlier this week in the locker room obviously carried over, deservedly so carried over 300 yards today. We're going to get more into that in just a second. Here's a man Dalton in action, actually throwing the rock. Looking good there. Great game today. I mean, we came out, scored right away on this team. There we go. Chubba Hubbard. Chubba was running hard today. Running hard, was rewarded well, got most of the carries for this Carolina Panthers team, and just seemed to get stronger and stronger. Man, you got to like what Chubba has been showing you as a running back since he's taken over that start role. And there we go. Eddie Pinheiro, our field goal kicker. And you see, again, all those Carolina Panthers fans. And this game, you know, as far as the crowd goes, it was a good amount of Panthers fans here. And when the schedule came out, Las Vegas, we're going to come here. On Twitter, you heard a lot of people talking about coming. They sure did come out. It was a lot of fans all around. And certainly with the butt kicking that was taking place, I can proudly say that. For once, towards the end of the game, what happens is fans that keep working their way down. And there you have the scene there where you see all the fans down there working things out. And here you go, Shaq Thompson and a coach celebrating. This was after a 4th down stop. Great game. Lots of celebrations out there tonight. And it was even a play earlier in the game where man, I forget the exact play. I think it was after a touchdown. Might have been the third touchdown that Andy threw. It was some Panther fans, Panther players coming off the bench, and they came out there and they did this, right? Just being happy, being proud. And I said it on Twitter. I don't know if you guys got a chance to tune in doing Twitter, if you guys are mostly YouTubers, but we're not allowed to cheer in the press box, and it's a good reason. I get it why. It's a working environment, so you can't be sitting there trying to work, and we're all on our laptops, and somebody's just cheering for their team. But I'm going to tell you that I had to fight it more than one time to cheer or to do a fist pump, because it's been a long time since we've seen any kind of production like this. And me and the media, I see these guys every single day throughout the summer, throughout training camp, throughout OTAs. And it's like last year in Jacksonville, getting shut out. And it's like, man, you know, I want to cover something that's exciting. And to be able to cover this game today, it was definitely exciting. And there's a good picture to show the moment of all the excitement. All right, we're going to continue to move on here. Chubba Hubbard scoring a touchdown, one of many that we had today. Don't get to say that often, but I'm happy that we had that touchdown right there. And again, hold on, I didn't mean to show that yet. You guys are calling in already. Not time to call in yet. All right, I'm gonna open up the call lines for sure, and I want to talk to you guys, hear all the excitement. But give me just about another 10 minutes, and then we'll have an interactive conversation talking about this Carolina Panthers victory. All right, so hold tight. And I'll let you guys on the show here in just a second. Let me continue to work through these images. Here is my man, Adam Thielen. I did see him after the game. Now, he had a hamstring injury. He was first listed as, I think, doubtful. And then shortly after, he got downgraded to out. And all the guys that had injuries today did not return, and there was no reason to. We were in control. It's early on in the season. Keep these guys healthy. Keep them out there for when the time is right, but for the long haul. And, you know, this might need to be a pregame tradition. I don't know if it already is a pregame tradition, but Andy Dalton with a kiss from the wife certainly seems like it turned out well, as it was a pretty good game today for Andy Dalton. And continue to move on. So, as I mentioned, Adam Thielen did get hurt after that catch. And here he is. Great photograph again by none other than Patrick Snyder. If you guys are liking these photographs, make sure you hit the like button, but also do me a favor and go over to Instagram, as we will post a lot more pictures from this celebratory moment of the Carolina Panthers defeating the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, I had to take a drink of water there. Continue to move on through these images from the game today in Las Vegas. Let me get this off the screen here so we can see these images a little bit clearer. There is my guy, Tommy Tremble. That ball was spread around so good today. I mean, it was just night and day, and I want to hear from you guys so bad. So, again, shortly, I'm going to open up the phone lines. I say phone lines. I'm going to open up the web lines and let you guys call in and talk to me about this game and how you're feeling. And I got some other things that I want to talk about as well. Andy Dalton, hey, Coach, I'm good. I'm good, Coach. We're winning. And you know, I'm going to touch on something I played in that pregame. Let me just crank this video up really quick. This is what Andy Dalton said. I forget what day this week, but it was later part of this week, and I agree with it so much. Here it is.
For me, if you can get the ball out of your hands and make quick decisions and play with timing and accuracy and anticipation, all that kind of stuff, there's a lot of that in this offense. And so we still don't know who we are yet. It's still early. And we're going to find out, I feel like, in the next several weeks of, all right, who are we really and what are we going to be able to do well?
So there you go, Andy Dalton saying we're going to find out who we are. And I think we are starting to find out who we are. And we're starting to find out where our biggest hurdle in becoming who we are was today, as he had an exceptional game. We're going to go through some stats in a second here, but we're going to keep working through these photographs. I think I lost my spot, but hopefully I'll get it right. There he is. Exceptional shot, Bryce Young with the fresh haircut. But Bryce Young watching on this game earlier today. Already had that one. Give me a second. And there go my guy, Xavier Legette, with the big play and the big run. So, man, that's a great picture. Xavier had I think it was about a 30-plus yarder in the game today. And I just forgot. Because, again, this club is going on right here to my left that you guys just would not believe it. You know, whatever you want to say for good music, bad music, but they're certainly having a good time over there. And it's just throwing me off guard hearing the explicit lyrics on the football field today. But nevertheless, Xavier Legette with the big play. In the locker room early this week, I asked him about, hey, is there anything that you want to know, want Andy Dalton to know? The music, again, is distracting me, but I'm going to stay focused. Is it anything that you want to communicate with Andy Dalton about this game and you to help you guys connect better? He said, man, I just like a deep ball. And he didn't get a, running down, streaking down the field kind of ball, but he did get a ball, good 20, 30 yards down the field. Was able to turn it up and get some more yards after that. So that was really good by Xavier. And here we go again. Chubba Hubbard eluding the tackle, continue to make some progress down the field. And this was the play that led to the excitement on the sidelines from Shaq Thompson and coaching staff as they stopped them on that 4th down attempt. We got a few more pictures here. Who's that? Who's that man? Well, that's the guy who lost his job to Chubba Hubbard, but Miles Sanders there having a carry. And again, look at those Raiders players on the floor. This was a game that was so good to see. And what a better note. What better note to end on than this picture right here of one Bryce Young congratulating Andy Dalton, who has just a little bit of grass on his jersey on his exceptional play today. So, yeah, some really, really good photographs there from our photographer, Patrick Snyder. As promised last night, hey, if it happens, we're going to have a picture of it, and there you go and see it. So we're going to go over some stats, and then we're going to go ahead and break the tradition of going over some more information, and I'm going to allow you guys to come on. I want to hear the excitement. I want to hear the questions that you have for me, or just anything that you want to say, all right? So I'm going to put that link out there in just a minute and call in, all right? Let's go ahead and go through the stats from today, and let's start with none other than passing. An exceptional game today. Andy Dalton, 26 of 37 for over 300 yards. 319 yards to be exact, and look at that average. 8.6, 3 touchdowns, easily surpassing what Bryce Young has done in recent memory. And his long was 35 yards, and importantly, 0 turnovers. 0 turnover from Andy Dalton. So again, last year when he started in Seattle, he had more attempts, but the yardage, over 300 yards. It's the same thing he had today. So Andy Dalton, big picture, big answer. I'm not even thinking about that, but obviously he's not. He's older. He's a reserve guy. He's there to help groom other people, but no reason to not just go ahead and get excited for what happened today. Guess what we also had today? We also had a 100-yard rusher. Chubba getting more than 75% of the carries today, averaging over 5 yards a carry. 21 carries for 114 yards. Congratulations, Chubba Hubbard, Miles Sanders with some carries, Andy Dalton, and Jonathan Mingo. And I wish I could hear from the person that I was talking to last night who made a bet on, I forget what the bet was, but it was like a 4-team bet. Maybe I'm not saying the terminology correct because I'm not a bettor. And I think it was like $30 they make. Oh, man, a lot of money. But I had said, I don't know about the receiver scoring. I said, I think that you should pick the rusher. Anyway, I think they might have won. Nevertheless, let's keep going through these stats. Let's look at the receivers. I really think they bet on Deontay Johnson starting. I really think that's what it was. So anyway, continue to work through this. Look at this receiving. Deontay Johnson woke up. Somebody woke up Deontay. I won't say they woke him up. He just had some opportunities that he didn't have before. He's in a contract year. I'm sure Deontay Johnson is extremely excited. 8 receptions, 14 13 targets. Now this looks like what we thought that we were going to see, right? If you look at these stats so far, and Canales talking about running the ball, or just I think it was Camp Confidential in which the offensive coordinator was talking to Deontay, was like, man, we want, like, it's no doubt we're going to make you the number one receiver, number one target. We want you to expose people. In the first couple of games, we weren't saying anything at all. And hats off to Deontay. He didn't become a diva, didn't go and sulk. You know, he wants to win, obviously wasn't excited about it, but he was a team player, and today he was rewarded and, again, had a phenomenal game with the eight catches, 122. Chubba as well. Chubba, that guy works on the jugs all the time. Jugs all the time after practice. And guess what? That's continuing to pay off for Chubba Hubbard, as not only did he have over 100 yards rushing, but he had 50 yards receiving. And then you see the ball was just spread around here pretty good. Jonathan Mingo, Tommy Tremble, Adam Thielen, as well as Miles Sanders, Xavier Legette, Jatavian Sanders. Man, spread the ball around. Really, really good job there. And then let's go ahead and touch on this defense. Mike Jackson, Shaq Thompson. We had some sacks. We had 3 sacks today. We held Devontae Adams in check today. Gardner Minshew, he was held in check today. I'm going to see if I can quickly find the stats for their side. Give me just a split second here. Give me just a second here. Yeah, so Gardner Minshew had just over 200 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. That interception was late in the game. And Devontae Adams had 4 for 40, only had 4 catches on 9 targets. That's pretty darn good. They tried to expose Mike Jackson. They tried to work him, and they did kind of work him for one series, but, you know, he continued to tighten up and lock this team down. Again, final score 36-22. Should not have been anywhere near that high. I kind of felt like, and I don't know where it came from, but we went into a prevent type of defense a little early in that fourth quarter and allowed them to put some points on the board. So, without further ado, I am going to go ahead and pin this in the comments for you guys to join me. So give me a second while I put the mic down, pin this in the comments for you guys. All right. So thank you for your patience. I wanted to get that pinned into the comments so you guys can join live, talk to me on the field, let me know what's going on, and yeah. All right. So patiently wait. Here we go. Let me hit this other button here. Thomas Frisbee. Thank you for patiently waiting. How you doing, man?
Not too much. Words. You know what? I'm fixing to go to bed.
You're so excited? I know it's late.
Yeah. This is actually getting late for me, but yeah, it's finally everything. The stars aligned just the way they should be, and finally, the offense, the whole team just looked really great. But what I'm hoping is that this is not a one-hit wonder, because now they have to go back home. This is a revenge game for Andy Dalton against Cincinnati. But I'm just hoping that it just continues, because everybody just looked on sync. So to go on the road in a hostile territory and everything they've been through, national media giving them flack for doing this and benching Bryce, they overcame a lot of adversities.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's really good.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Did you have more there, Thomas?
Just hopefully that Bryce can learn from this, that, you know, I don't think his time is done in Carolina. I think we will probably maybe see him back, but I'm hoping this might turn into it. Saints lost, Bucks lost. Right now, Falcons, I think, might be leading, but if they all lose, Carolina's still right in it. So, I mean, also to score 36 points, the most points they've scored in almost 2 years. Offense looked great. I was like, wow, where was this team all along? But one final thing, like as I mentioned on Twitter earlier, that I think with this offense, I think the reason why it exceeded, Canales had Geno Smith and Baker, veteran quarterbacks to lead the offense, not a young person. So that might make a difference here. Granted, it's one game, but only time to stop.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you for calling, man.
Thank you.
Go ahead and get some sleep.
Night, Chris.
Thank you. So it's only 5:53 out here in Las Vegas time, so I got plenty of energy. But I want to touch on a few things there that Thomas talked about. And again, encourage you guys to call in. The link is in the description as well as pinned in the comments. Would love to hear from fans out there about how excited you are, or maybe somebody's not excited. But I'd like to hear from you, certainly. A few things that I want to touch on from Thomas's comment. Yeah, it was a great victory. This guy, not only did they win on the road, first game that they won being on the road, it's hard to win on the road, especially in dome stadiums because they can get loud, and it was loud in here. But they won on the road on basically a West Coast trip. They didn't come, sometimes when there's a West Coast trip, some teams may leave on Friday to help you get acclimated. No, they left on Saturday. Got here, I think, closer to the evening yesterday. And West Coast trip, road trip, noisy environment, and they just put it on the Raiders. And something that I had talked about in the pregame that I wanted you guys to consider as a possibility was, with so much damage being done on the offensive side, like how that could ripple to negative effects on the other side of the ball. And that if they got it going on the offensive side and kept the defense off the field for as much as they were, maybe we could start to see the Evero defense that we've seen before. And it all happened. It all happened. They came out, they scored on the first drive. The energy was there on both sides. They didn't put the defense out there forever. I think I got the time of possession that I want to share with you guys. Probably won't be able to quickly find it. But I think it was somewhere about 36, 38 minutes that the Carolina Panthers had the ball. That's completely, utterly a flip from what we've been having before. And I didn't get a chance to go into the locker room. Sometimes I'm able to have Vashti Hurt from Carolina Blitz jump on and give me a little bit of the feel from the locker room. I don't go in so I can make sure I come on and go live quicker, especially with it being a late game. I know you guys would want to go to sleep, but again, I think it was like about 36 minutes of possession time that this Carolina Panthers team had. And that defense, the score was 22, but I'm going to say those other points were garbage time points, because when the game was on the line, when they were playing to win, and they played to win the entire time, so maybe that's not the best expression, but they held this team in check. They held Davante Adams in check. And I think part of the problem was Minshew he didn't have his best game today. He wasn't horrible, but he did things to give us a chance to win by. It was many times that he just didn't see anything, and he's holding on to the ball, instead of throwing it away, instead of trying to scramble. And, that bit him a few times, bit him in the butt a few times. And this Carolina Panthers team did a great job. Mike Jackson, Xavier Woods, Jordan Fuller, even though we got some injuries, I'm going to touch on those in a second. But they did a great job in locking down Davante. And even on these plays where there was extended time, Minshew had to run around and was holding on to the ball too long, as I mentioned, they stayed with it. They stayed in their assignments. They didn't worry about covering the other person, and it was a great game that they were able to benefit from. So very, very awesome to see. All right, again, the lines are open if anybody wants to call in. I'm here for you. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and go through a few more of my notes from the game and give you my feedback on what I saw out there today. Let's go ahead and talk about this, because obviously we're going to continue to talk about Andy Dalton, as we should. Quarterbacks are the franchise of NFL teams because everything operates through them. I think we saw just how big of an impact the quarterback is today with this huge turnaround that we had today. So just got to bring up this. Big plays, explosive plays. And I'm just going to say plays of 20 yards or more. We haven't had them. We need them. And I've always said when I put out those passing charts, It's not that I just want us throwing the ball out there all willy-nilly, but I feel like if you don't throw the ball out there, at least sometimes you're not going to keep this defense honest. And when you start to have a balance of keeping the defense honest, where you can throw the ball, where you can run the ball, then you have what you had today. By the way, let me point this out. The first time in, I think, a little over 2 years that we have had a 300-yard passer, that was Andy Dalton, a 100-yard rusher, that was Chubba Hubbard, and a 100-yard receiver, that was Deontay Johnson. That's incredible. 300 yards, 102, and both guys rushing and receiving over 100 yards. Last time it happened was in Atlanta when P.J. Walker was your quarterback. I forget the other two parts of that dynamic there to get those guys over the 100 yards, but just a great ball game today. And I'm going to go ahead and skip my script because, again, I said I want to break the norm, have you guys interact with me, and we got somebody that I'm going to bring on right now. Roadmaster, I can't see you. There we go. What's going on?
What's going on? Hey, is my camera on? Because I tried to turn it off.
Nah, your camera's on. I can see you.
I don't know how to turn it off.
You want to turn it off?
I thought it was turned off.
It's on right now.
Yeah.
That's good, man. I like to see who I'm talking to. What you got?
All right, that's cool. That's cool. But yeah, you see how much of a difference it makes with a decent, at least decent quarterback. How it opens up the offense.
Tremendous. I mean, from the very first drive, we have had poor performances on third down conversions. And I'm going to give you the mic back, but I want to comment on that. Very first drive, we converted, I believe it was 2 third down conversions. That's what we've done all season. And on the first drive, we did it with Andy Dalton.
Yeah, so once they, so I'm going to go back to, I think it was Monday when they announced they was benching Bryce.
Yeah.
The look on their head coach, on his face, he was like, oh man, we got to switch our whole game plan.
You talking about the Raiders?
They wasn't ready.
Yeah, Pierce in his press conference today after the game said, hey man, we got our butts whipped. The fans here in Las Vegas were booing early on. He said, I would have booed too. Like, we got our butts whipped, everybody.
Man, I'm mad Bryce even had a jersey on the day. What you need a jersey for? We not putting you out there.
Hey, we need
to trust him enough to let him go kneel the last 2 times.
Well, you know, Bryce, we needed a backup, you know. If something had to happen to Andy where he needed to come out for a play, we need somebody to come out there.
I figured they was going to elevate Plummer. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah. Nah, we roll with Bryce as backup. And he said that early in the week that Bryce would be the quarterback.
Yeah, we got Plummer and Coker back there.
Yeah. Yep. All right, boss man.
Yeah, so Bryce days are over.
Okay, so that's where you're going with it. You say Bryce is, you don't want to see him coming back at all. Even if
it might have been his last time wearing a Panther jersey.
Okay, so you going with the trade out option, huh?
Man, I'll trade him for this cigarette butt I'm about to put out.
All right. Okay, did you have anything else for me, boss man?
Nah, I'm going to hop off.
I appreciate you, man. Come on some more, all right?
All right, bro. Appreciate your content.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, so again, the link is pinned in the description for those who wish to come on. Hey, I want to hear from the fans, so I said I was going to flip up the format a little bit to have an opportunity to hear the excitement from the fans, see what questions you all may have. So as long as I'm on, which is going to be about another 20 minutes, I'll make that available to you all to click on that link, join me on this show. But let's go to this here. I was talking about the big plays that we had, and we did have plenty of them. I was saying right before the caller was that I put the passing chart out there, and it's like, Bryce, can you please throw the ball more? Whether or not you complete it, just throw it around. Today, this is unofficial, and I have to say unofficial because I'm a one-man person getting all these stats and things together, and I'm doing it, trying to do it as quickly as possible to come online. So that might be a play that I forgot. All right, so this is the unofficial chart that I was able to come up with of the 20-yard plays that were executed today out here. And let's take a look at them. All right. So just one comment said the audio is popping. All right, we'll look into it. Probably because I'm hyped and I'm talking loud, but I'll try to bring it down. So thank you for letting me know. But it's tough not being excited, man. It's tough. I won't go into it, but again, traveling, covering his team, the work you put in to watch him and to report on him, and it's like, oh my goodness, it's great. It was great to see some relief there. Sounds like my mic is shorting out. Okay. Let me get a little mic check going on. Let me get a little mic check. Give me just a second. Give me just a second. You guys are reporting some audio, so let me check out the audio. I feel like the audio is back being good, so I'm gonna wait a second for you guys to confirm. I couldn't see anything. Looks pretty clean to me. So again, I'm going to wait a second for you guys to confirm that it is back good. I don't know if it was me moving around or what that could have been. All right, so I do hear it. All right, so I did hear the audio popping a little bit. I'm going to switch for a second, all right? So give me just a second. I'm going to switch out the audio. All right, so we did switch over the audio, and I'm just going to take a second to make sure that this sounds better. You guys can also leave some comments, and once I verify that this audio is back good, then we'll continue on with the show. Thank you guys so much for pointing out the audio problem there. I think it does sound good now, and somebody said something about the wiring. You're right, it did sound more like a wiring issue that might have gotten shorted or something. But I'm going to turn up the volume on this mic a little bit. Here we go. Still looks like a little Dak Prescott right there. Here we go. Oh, let me get out of here. And before I go too much further through this, let me do what I should have done a while ago, because we got a super chat. We're independent media, 100% supported by our viewers. So anytime that you guys are able to give us a super chat, become a member, that really, really goes a long way. I think I told someone earlier, the $10, I think it was $9.99, right? That'll help me get back to the airport tonight for the Uber, which is typically about $20. Guess what? I can fully get back to the airport now as Ken88 with the $10 super chat. I won that bet. Deontay score, Andy scores, and over 100. Thanks, Ken88, for the super chat. Really, really appreciate it and need it. Again, anytime that you guys can show some support on the channel, do so. Ken, how much did you win on that? How much did you win? I want you to tell me, because I do remember. I think it was like 100 and something. He won $100. So, yeah, and I said on the show last night, don't take my word for it. I'm not a bettor, but congrats to you on that victory. But let's go ahead and go back to the big plays, and we had several of them. Here is the unofficial big plays that I was able to track for this team tonight. All the pass plays. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pass to Chubba Hubbard for 20 yards. A pass to Andy Dalton. I'm sorry, Andy can't pass to himself. He had a heck of a game, but not that good, all right? Hey, hit that like button. We're at that bad number that I don't like. We're at 66. We don't need to be at 66. Let's if you don't mind, everybody watching right now, it doesn't cost you anything at all to just turn that phone sideways or however you need to turn it. Just tap that button, give me a like. It also helps other Carolina Panther fans find out about the channel. And the bigger we grow, the more that we can do for you. Players and coaches always like when their voice has been heard from being on the channel. So there we go. We got out of that 66. Thank you very much for doing that. But we also had Andy Dalton with a pass to Deontay Johnson for 35. So Deontay had 2 splash plays today. He had the one for 35, and then he had the one that was 23 yards. Xavier Legette got the big play, 35 yards as well. Tommy Tremble got in on the mat. So not only did look at how well we spread the ball around. We had our running back get a splash play. We had our receivers get a splash play. We had our tight end get a splash play. So all the skill positions that could catch the rock had big plays. Tommy Tremble with that 20-yarder, and then Andy Dalton with a deep pass to Adam Thielen for 31 yards with a touchdown. He was hurt on that play, didn't return. But again, that is my unofficial count. 6 plays, over 20. And, one thing that I don't say that you worry about, it's just a thought that you have was, man, Bryce Young, are they even going to want Bryce Young to get near it? Or, are they going to be thinking like, man, I feel bad that I'm all excited, I'm all celebrating, and Bryce Young wasn't the guy. So I think that's just a thought, but that's not something that we have to worry about. This guy is a grown man. He's playing in a league. I'm sure he understands about the excitement that would be had by his teammates and just getting a victory. And that's a good thing that they got that victory. I think we got another super chat that came through here. Let me get through here. Oh my goodness. We got let's see, we got to give you a lot here. First, we're going to give a little of that. Then we're going to give a little of that.
Super chat.
Thank you, Mikey Lopez, for that super chat, $20. Much needed, much appreciated. I can't talk. I know I'm going to crash. I'm actually taking a red-eye flight back to Charlotte tonight. I will be back arriving in Charlotte early Monday morning, but nevertheless, great game, bro. I'll be in Charlotte October 13th, so I hope to see you and get a pic. I'll be with the wife. Love the content, bro. Keep pounding. Mikey, our pregame shows are always 2 hours before the game. We are by the Honeywell building in Charlotte. I forget the gate. I think technically it might be the East Gate. I'm sorry, I just go places by memory. But that's where fans can come and meet me and co-host, and also Panther Nation podcast. Rashad is there at that show as well, that pregame show. So if you have a chance to stop over that way with the wife, man, would love to meet you. Thank you for your support so kindly on the show. We need it very much. Those were the splash plays from tonight. And you guys, there's still a link in the description for anybody that wants to come on the show and share an excitement, ask any questions. Let's go ahead and take a look at this NFC South standings as of the end of this game today. So we have the New Orleans Saints, which fell today. They played the Philadelphia Eagles. And let me see if I can have the scoreboard in front of me before I talk incorrectly about anything. And then we also had the Atlanta Falcons. They are currently playing the Kansas City Chiefs. We also play the Kansas City Chiefs later on this season, that second part of the season, but they're currently tied up 7-7 with 8:39 to go in that game. The Saints, they lost in that last minute to the Eagles, 15-12. The Saints And then the Buccaneers, man, they had a surprising loss today. They lost 26-7 to the Denver Broncos, and we also play the Denver Broncos later this year. So that's your current standings: Saints, Buccaneers, Falcons, and the Panthers in that order. So early on in the season, we definitely have an opportunity to stay in the mix. And I think the biggest thing to be excited about is just being relevant. Just, you know, I was talking about it before this week. It's like, I just want to watch a game that looks like a football game, or at least a game that comes down to the fourth quarter. You got to watch to see who's going to win. But I'll take this. A game that you felt early on was, hey, Carolina Panthers are putting it on them. And we're going to talk about the offense naturally because we all love offense. But this defense really only allowed 7 points through most of the game. They didn't start scoring points until we went into that prevent type defense, which they went in early. I think it was about the 11-minute mark in the fourth quarter. They went to that prevent defense, and they moved the ball. They moved the ball down the field. So I think we got another super chat, and then I got a caller waiting, and I'm definitely going to get to you by far. You guys are showing me the love. I appreciate it so much. Give me the pick-me-up that I need, because like I'm starting to crash with this time zone change. But I got to give you guys the content. Jester, we appreciate your coverage and images. Keep going, bro. Keep pounding. Hey, Jester, appreciate you very much. Let me give you your sound effects as well for your support of this channel.
Super chat.
Now I can pay for my parking once I get back to Charlotte. You guys might be laughing, but that's really how it goes. But it's okay. You know, I signed up for it when I started this business as an entrepreneur. Wanted to create a channel, wanted to create a resource where the media took a different perspective of revealing the game, covering the game, showing you behind the scenes about what it takes to cover the team, and also helping you get to know these players from a different perspective. I always say I don't claim to know everything. I just like to get the facts straight from the horse's mouth, aka the players, and present that information to you and not just be a talking head. So thank you very, very much, Jester90, for that support and for that super chat. Very much needed and appreciated. We're gonna go to a caller. I was gonna get something to drink before I brought you on, but I'm gonna bring you on. How you doing? Are you frozen? You appear to be frozen, my friend. So I'm going to kick you off and allow you to come back on when you get a chance to come back on. So you guys, it's pinned in the comments for anybody that wants to come on the show, ask a question, talk to me. We've got about another 10 minutes on the show that we can do this. And I'm going to try to bring, let's see, move around. Hey, Dalton, is it?
Dalton, yeah.
Okay. Oh, you're moving. You got frozen on the last time. I don't know if that was me or you, but hey, man, thanks for tuning in. What you got?
Hey, I've been watching your show for at least 6 years now, so you do good work. So thank you.
6. So you've been through the me wondering what am I going to say after another loss, after another loss, after another loss.
yeah.
Thanks for your support.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. That was awesome team win today on all 3 phases. So, but my question is, I don't know if you've seen the reports, but so far, like the best offer that the Panthers have gotten on Bryce is a 4th-round pick. And in my opinion, I don't think that's worth it. Like, when was the last time we've had a good 4th-rounder? You know, that's the question. That's one question for you.
Okay.
And for me, I think that the Panthers keep playing Andy all year, let Bryce sit, and maybe give him another shot next year. And possibly even bringing Andy back next year, you know, because I know they'll have extra cap space. I think a lot of cap space will be freed up next year, so they could easily bring back Andy, let Bryce sit and develop. And I hear a lot of people say trade him, but I just don't see, like, I think it was Jonathan Jones and the CBS that did the report, and they said the best offer they've got so far is a 4th-round pick, and that's just crazy to me to let him go for a 4th-rounder.
Yeah, let me see. I'm going to keep you on if you got a second. Let me see if I can find something really quick. Oh, man, I can't find it. But I actually had a chance to talk with Dan Morgan before the game. And I was beating myself up for like, I didn't ask him any questions. But, there's certain times where we're supposed to do things like that. But I'm going to touch on the first one, the 4th round pick for a number 1 overall pick that, I don't know, what is he, 22, 21, 22 years old?
23.
He's 23? Okay. 1 year in the league, second year? No, that's not enough. And it's not enough.
It's not enough.
It's not enough, not so much from the sake of somebody can say, well, he sucks, he's been bad. But he's still young, and he still has so much that could be taught to him and get corrected and be a big piece of your team for a long time. And also, if you trade him and you fix him or you get him in a good environment, you got him on a rookie contract. It's nothing where you're paying this guy 30, 40, 50 million dollars, which is that's what you're going to, if Bryce Young is still in this league in 5 years and he's starting, he's going to get a huge contract because that's just what this league does for any quarterback. They give him a huge contract. So, for that reason, I say, no, that's not enough unless you're at least giving me something big. You're giving me a 4th round pick and you're giving me a star player at some position of some sort where I would start to think about that. The other thing that you talked about was the sitting of Bryce for the entire season. So for me, that's a lot to process about what could happen in all these different pieces. Just like this trade stuff just started coming up. I feel like it's going to be a week-by-week thing, and this week was like a blowout. Like, I don't think that anybody would have predicted like this kind of showing all around. So I think if we continue to see this kind of play from Andy, that it really complicates things in a sense of like, well, Bryce, if I'm a new coach,
Bryce just needs to sit.
Go ahead.
And develop, get better, and just watch. Because, a lot of people want to see him gone, but I disagree with that. Especially, I just think these other teams want Panthers to take the bite, and trade him for nothing, And I could just see Bryce going on and falling out somewhere else. Because that's our Panther luck,
That is definitely our luck. Did you have anything else, boss? Did you freeze up on me again? All right, I think he froze up on me, but let me go ahead and address some of those questions. Again, we got about, technically I got about 12 more minutes I could be out here. But the other part that Dalton, I believe is how you pronounce the name, was talking about was what's the plan look like for the rest of the year. So there's different dynamics now. There's a trade possibility, which they haven't got anything substantial on yet. And then there's, should you sit Bryce for the rest of the season? I feel like if I'm Dave Canales and I got what I got out there today, I want to build the culture of my team. I want to build a way of winning around my team. And I want to see what that culture is going to be like. If you look at what happened before today, it was like everybody. You didn't see the energy. Like, you see those photos? I don't know if I can quickly find that one with all that energy out here. Let me see if I can super quick find this photograph here. I might not quickly find it. Yeah, I can't quickly find it, so I won't bore you guys with this clicking of all the images here. But we have an image of Bryce Young, Shaq Thompson with another coach just being so excited about what has happened. And I'm going to find it. I think it's too good of a picture not to show. Here we go. I found it. Tell me when was the last time that you saw excitement like that on the Carolina Panthers sideline? You haven't seen it in a long time. And that's something that a culture started to build, something that this head coach needs. He's a first-year coach. He needs an identity. This team needs an identity. We had these free agents. We had these weapons. And every last one of them, and I'm right now I'm thinking on the offensive side, it's like, hey, Deontay Johnson, what are we going to see from Deontay? Xavier Legette, are we going to see something from, and you saw something from both of them. So I think it's still going to be a week-by-week thing. I still feel like you want to get Bryce right. And if we do roll with Andy for the rest of the season because we're doing well, hey, that's great. But yeah, go back to Bryce. Go back to Bryce. You got a long off season to get him right, to get his confidence back up. And I think his confidence should start to go back up right now in the sense of like seeing what Andy's doing, knowing that it can be done, and kind of being like, okay, and just having a break from it. But let me take a drink of water here. Make sure I have not missed any super chats. Looks like I got them all. Anytime that you're able to do so, greatly appreciate it. I don't know what just happened there. There we go. All right, let's get to some of our members here. Our members are important pieces of the puzzle. Make Carolina Panthers great again. Yes, T Green, that is something that would be great, would be wonderful. Just gonna check on all of our members here for a second. Some people think we're gonna be tied with the Falcons later on. That wouldn't be bad. Elseway lets me know that my sound was good. Thank you all for letting me know that my sound had went out earlier today. I don't have the full staff. You know, we're back in Charlotte. We do now have a sound engineer, production engineer with us, and he's able to monitor that, but I'm on the road by myself, so I had to make some changes. All right, again, just making sure that I go through all the members and their questions, and then we'll get to everybody else. T Green, Miles Sanders is on the chopping blocks once Brooks comes in. So do I think that that's unrealistic? I don't. And I'm going to show you these stats from today. So Chubba, 21, 114, 5.4. Miles Sanders, 2.4. So Brooks is going to be out at least one more game because of the status that he had for his injury. So at least one more game because he has to sit out 4. I don't predict that Brooks is going to be back right away on that 4th game. I think they're going to want to, since they do have Miles, since they probably want to take as much time as they can to make that decision about the future of Miles, is we're going to see Jonathan at practice and see, get some reports on how well he's doing. And then, maybe you have Miles inactive the first game that you could put Jonathan out there so he can get some snaps, and then you'll make your decision. But certainly, just like I talked about with Bryce, rookie contracts, certainly if you got Jonathan Brooks, a high draft pick, and he's been effective, you got Miles that cost you, he got the best contract for a running back last offseason. Free up some money, continue to build this team. Appreciate the question, T Green. All right, just want to make sure I got all my members, and then I'm going to get a few more. And honestly, guys, I'm getting a little West Coast fatigue going on, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make a full hour tonight, but I'm going to try to get through like maybe 2 more questions. All right, let's see what we got. Fleet Finance, Bryce is done. You can't keep doubling down on a mistake. He is not bigger than the team. So let me ask those that may feel like Bryce should be done. Why not give Bryce a chance to get better? Like, why not let Andy continue to play? If he's playing as hot as he's playing today, you're not going to take that guy out, right? But Bryce is a number 1 pick. Bryce obviously has some intangibles when he was in college at Alabama. Had a bad environment that he walked into his first year. Got a better environment in his second year, but it just seems like he got damaged a lot and he needs some time to reset. So why not give Bryce a chance to reset? Because if you roll with Andy, how long can you roll with Andy? You still got to develop your next quarterback. Because Andy is not like a Tom Brady. There's some guys that are older and they have success at quarterback, but it's typically just for that season. Man, I wish I could remember the guy in Cleveland that came back off the couch and had a great rest of the season. But typically your older quarterback, I wouldn't count on them going a whole season. And I honestly might feel like that with Andy. Like, can he go, this is week 3, So he still has 14. Am I doing the math right? He still has a long way to go, a lot of games. And he could get banged up, right? And you need some backups. So I wouldn't feel like, yeah, you want to put all that on Andy and not have a plan to develop your next franchise quarterback. So let me hear you all's thoughts on that. Appreciate the comments, Fleece. Anthony Andros, what a good point. It's just one game, so now let's see what happens. Now, I'm a big fan, and Charlotte is home, and I miss it. Appreciate you, Anthony, for that comment. Yeah, we all got to see what happens back in Charlotte, you know. One game at a time. Let's certainly celebrate this game here tonight and the accomplishments that they made on the offensive and defensive side. Let me see if I can put the defensive stats back up there, because I feel like I need to give the defense some more love because they were good, man. They had 3 sacks tonight, 1 interception, 3 tackles for a loss, and look at these pass deflections, man. You know, I talked about Mike Jackson going to be picked on, but and they kind of got him for one series, but he continued to play well. He did not let that faze him. He had 3 pass deflections. That's incredible. Josie Jewell had a good game. He had 2 pass deflections. And, you know, we had 7 pass deflections overall, 6 quarterback hits. I don't know the stats on that from the previous, but to me that sounds pretty good, those 6 quarterback hits. And, you know, we contained Devontae Adams and Gardner Minshew very well throughout this game. All right, I got the voice for one more, and then I'm going to have to save the rest for tomorrow. I will continue to do my day after show where we focus more on some more deep analysis into the game, some more content and player interviews that I'll share with you all, as well as talking with you guys as well. Let's see if anybody comment. What happened to the plumber boy? Let's see, Flacco. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for all the positive comments. Thank you to all the people that I've met here in Las Vegas, meeting some people today outside the stadium, met some people in Charlotte on the way here. I'm heading to the airport now. I may see some more of you, so I really enjoyed the support. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep grinding out. I do need your support though, so if you're certainly still watching at this point, do me the big favor, hit that like button. It'll help the channel continue to grow, help me continue to do big things, and get you all a lot of Carolina Panthers content. I'm Chris Jenkins for Charlotte Vibe, live from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Everybody have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.